Right, so who believes Rishi Sunak uses the NHS then? If so, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. Reinforcing that is the fact that in light of the severe crisis we're seeing in the health service right now, when Sunak's spokesperson was asked if rich boy Rishi had first-hand experience of using the NHS himself, they answered that they didn't go into the Prime Minister's personal affairs in that way, but that it would be wholly wrong to claim he was not aware of the challenges our health service faces. Are you sure about that, though? We are talking about a guy who had to be talked through how to use a chip and pin machine to pay for petrol, filling a car that wasn't even his. A guy who used to be in charge of the nation's finances, so-called expert in the financial world, yet was apparently completely unaware that his own wife was profiting from Russia by her family firm Infosys. This is a man who was once asked how much a loaf of bread was and refused to answer because apparently everyone in his house buys different breads. A man who thought it was an election-winning strategy when running to be Tory leader to brag to a leafy Tory shire about taking money away from deprived areas to fund those same Tory voting ones that didn't need it. This is a man who, when he was a kid, bragged of having no working-class friends, demonstrating an upbringing completely out of touch with the lives and needs of the vast majority of the UK. This is a man who tried to get down with the kids by telling them he was a coke addict, meaning the drink, but hey, kids will be kids. And he was once asked if as PM he'd be spending more time in Scotland, to which he replied he took Scotland very, very seriously, said that people could already see that he took Scotland seriously because he had set up an economic campus for the government in Darlington. That's in County Durham, Rishi, but hey, up north it's all the same, right? Your own constituency is up north, isn't it? It's up in Yorkshire. Do you ever go there, or do you think that's in Scotland too? Rishi Sunak is the kind of person who would say he's got his finger on the pulse while standing in a morgue. In a list of life's little disappointments, he'd appear on it twice. In touch with the NHS crisis? I mean, come on. How can you even keep a straight face while saying that? Of course, this is a guy who has private healthcare. I'll eat this t-shirt if he doesn't. He wants us all to have private healthcare ourselves, whether we want to or not, by destroying the NHS and leaving us to pay for insurance with money none of us have. So how can he possibly not? Thus, the spokesperson can't just say no, more or less confirms that, don't you think? Just to stick the cherry on top of this point, Sunak has actually come out and said the NHS isn't even in crisis. Just, I don't know, tell that to the BMA or the RCN, the ordinary workers making up every level of our NHS and are struggling to keep it going. It's little wonder he has been called delusional and incompetent today by the very doctors he thinks he knows better than. 12 NHS trusts have now called critical incidents. There is a waiting list of 7 million people waiting for treatment. Delays in treatment are now causing life-changing disabilities in people. One notable example that I've heard today is that of stroke patients requiring clot-busting thrombolysis treatment within the 2-hour window that they need to receive it in order to avoid permanent brain damage, and they haven't got it in time because they're still stuck in the back of a damned ambulance. And let's not forget that 500 people a week are dying as no treatment comes in time at all. Yes, Rishi Sunak is out of touch, but my God, just how badly must you be to pretend such things aren't the reality here, especially when, as the Prime Minister, you will be getting reports on such things to enact literally before anyone else does. Oh, and if anyone wants to pop into my comments and point to NHS strikes as the cause, at this point, there's a bin over there, you can get right in it. These strikes are happening first and foremost, above all else, because the service has become so unsafe. Still, Sunak can't see it, though. When money has been your all-consuming interest all your life, as his has, I don't suppose he can see the value in anything beyond its value in pounds and pence. And if his spreadsheet adds up on paper for what he wants to do, then that must be the reality in life. But people and patients and medical professionals and medication and disabilities and care are not numbers on a spreadsheet. People are not numbers on a spreadsheet. They are not problems that can be solved by more maths. I'll come to his mathematical metric ton of stupid in another vid. It is dangerous and insultingly delusional, though. Did I say cherry on top earlier? Forget that cherry. Have another bigger cherry to go on top of that. Hilary Jones, the resident doctor on Good Morning Britain this morning, described our NHS once the envy of the world, the best service there was, as third world medicine now. Why? Doctors are now triaging patients in their cars. Never mind queues of ambulances. Triage in cars is now happening. There's a brand new buzzword being bandied about now as well. Reverse boarding. What in the dickens does that mean, Damo? Well, it means taking a patient already in resus or a cubicle space in emergency care, we're talking A&E here, folks, and moving them into the corridor to make space for someone else deemed to be in a worse condition. What the hell is the point of that, Damo? That's bloody stupid, isn't it? And you'd be absolutely right, it is. But in the words of Sunak's government, it is to make sure nobody dies in corridors anymore. What a goal to strive for! Sunak should visit a hospital and see for himself the state things are in, but he won't. He should give some interviews to account for his incompetence and perhaps clarify his personal position on private healthcare, but he won't. It's bunker mentality, keeping his head down until it hopefully all blows over, until the press ignores it, until it all goes away. But it won't. We can't let it. We can't afford to not have a functional health service, and we need to show that the words of Nye Bevan still mean something when he said the NHS will be there for as long as people fight for it. So for heaven's sake, fight this sorry excuse for a billionaire PM who has no idea what it's like to be you. He is overseeing life-changing harm, and it's only a matter of time before you feel the direct impact of that yourself if something isn't done.